He was one of the pioneers of the bop trumpet. His harmonic prowess and characteristic style continues to influence new generations of musicians. Who was Kenny Dorham? Here on Big on Bebop. He was born McKinley Howard Dorham on August 30th, 1924 in Fairfield, Texas. His father played the guitar, mother and sister played the piano. He first studied the piano with his sister at age 7, took up the trumpet in high school, his debut with dance band at Wiley College where he attended pharmacy school. He was in the Army in 1942 and was a member of the boxing team. Early in his career, he played in the big bands of Lionel Hampton, Billy Eckstine, Dizzy Gillespie, and Mercer Ellington. Then Charlie Parker's Quintet. He joined Parker's band in December of 1948. He also recorded as a sideman with Thelonious Monk and Sonny Rollins. He was a founding member of the Jazz Messengers. He replaced Clifford Brown and Max Roach's quintet after Brown's death in 1956. In addition to sideman work, Dorham led his own groups, including the Jazz Prophets, formed shortly after Art Blakey took over the Jazz Messengers. The Jazz Prophets featured a young Bobby Timmons on piano, bassist Sam Jones, and tenorman J.R. Montrose, with guest Kenny Burrell on guitar, recorded a live album, Round About Midnight, at the Café Bohemia in 1956 for Blue Note. In 1963, Dorham added the 26-year-old tenor saxophonist Joe Henderson to his group, which later recorded the album Una Mas. The friendship between the two musicians led to a number of other albums, such as Henderson's Page One, Our Thing, and In and Out. Dorham recorded frequently throughout the 1960s for Blue Note and Prestige Records, as a leader and as a sideman for Henderson, Jackie McLean, Cedar Walton, Andrew Hill, and Milt Jackson. From 1963 to 64, he played with Hank Mobley. In 1964, he served as a consultant for the Harlem Youth Opportunities Unlimited at New York City's anti-poverty program. In 1965, he reviewed records for Downbeat magazine. He attended New York University Graduate School of Music in the late 60s. He also taught at the school. Dorham's later quartet consisted of Tommy Flanagan, Paul Chambers, and Art Taylor. Their recording debut was Quiet Kenny for Prestige's new jazz label, and an album which featured mostly ballads. An earlier quartet featuring Dorham as co-leader with alto saxophone player Ernie Henry had released an album together under the name Kenny Dorham, Ernie Henry Quartet. They produced the album Two Horns, Two Rhythm for Riverside Records in 1957 with double bassist Eddie Mathias and drummer G.T. Hogan. In 1990, the album was re-released on CD under the name Kenny Dorham Quartet featuring Ernie Henry. Dorham composed the bossa nova jazz standard Blue Bossa. During his final years, Dorham suffered from kidney disease, from which he died on December 5, 1972, at the age of 48. Kenny Dorham never received the kind of attention or public recognition from the jazz establishment that many of his peers did. My dad tells a story that Horace Silver told him. Kenny Dorham and Hank Mobley were the two most knowledgeable horn players harmonically that he had ever worked with. High praise from a musician who worked with all the heavyweights. Kenny Dorham, a top bebop trumpet player.